Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Jessica. Dean, would you do roll call, please?
Sure. Councilmember White?
Here.
Councilmember Cook? Councilmember Fairley?
Here.
Councilmember Osborne? Here. Councilmember Thomas?
Here.
I make a motion we excuse Gordon.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to excuse Councilmember Cook. Is there any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Thank you. Presentation A, introduction of new officers.
Okay, so we had a change at the last minute. We are going to do a ceremonial swearing in. As you know, these officers have been working, some of them since November. We just haven't had a chance to get in front of council. We thought, hey, let's keep with tradition. So they were sworn in before they went to work in the clerk's office, but we're going to do a more formal swearing in. And if it's okay with the clerk, can I do them one at a time? Or do you want to do them all three at once?
I think for her sanity, all at once.
So if I can get all three new officers, come up front. It's all up to the city clerk here. And then I've got a little bit of introduction for each one after the swearing.
All right, so go ahead and line up facing the crowd, and then slightly turn and face Dave.
I state your name.
I, Quorum Zafir,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will be alert and vigilant
that I will be alert and vigilant
to enforce the criminal laws of this state.
to enforce the criminal laws of the state,
That I will not be influenced
that I will not be influenced
in any matter on account
in any manner on account
of personal bias or prejudice.
of personal bias or prejudice,
That I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
execute the duties of my office
execute the duties of my office
as a law enforcement officer
as a law enforcement officer
according to the best of my skills,
According to the best of my skills,
abilities, and judgment.
abilities, and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right. So hold your applause a little bit. I want to talk about each one of them. So I'm going to start here, closest to me. We have Quorum Zafir. He comes from us from the Bremerton area. He's been on since November. He's done a phenomenal job. He hit the ground running. He's got a positive attitude. Get a lot of attaboys from citizens about all the officers, but it seems like he gets quite a few. I really appreciate him. All his teammates appreciate him. He comes in ready to work, just with a smile on his face. And he wears a mean cop stash. Unfortunately, he saved it off. So, but he had a good one going during those years. And then we have AJ. He comes to us from the state of Hawaii. He also, via the King County Sheriff's Department. AJ's been on since October. Is that right?
October.
And again, smile on his face, hardworking. Definitely fits into our mantra of problem solving. Just a pleasure to be around. So I know when, because we're a small agency, people come and go, but every iteration just keeps getting better. And this is probably, I say this, you guys have heard me say it, but I'm going to keep saying it. This is the best team I've coached in 28 years. So I'm really proud of them. So then the last is Officer Linda Dawson. She comes to us from the city of Lakewood. She also has a social work background, so does Quorum. She came to work for us in December. And again, just like the other two, hit the ground running, just a great fit for the team. We get a lot of positive feedback on social media about her. And we get some of those traffic violators that are not so happy to meet her, but she's doing a great job. And we're okay with that. So anyway, I appreciate all of them. So before I move on, I got a little bit more on my presentation. AJ, do you want to say something?
No, it's been a good experience out here working in the city of Algona. And people out here are very interactive. They're very approachable. Like, I see you. about it. Like working out here. Love it.
Corn?
I gotta agree with AJ. It's a small town, small community. I love that you guys are so involved. We did Blue Christmas this year, and it was cool to see just everybody come out and support just the local families and be a part of the community. So I'm excited to see what else the year brings.
So how many people have family members in the crowd? Everybody. Look at there. You want to introduce your family members?
I'm here with my father and my mother, Eric and Judy.
Nice.
My wife Jen in the back.
Nice. Miss Linda?
I got my mom in the back over there.
All
I
right.
have, he's like my dad, Rusty, and I have like another mom over here, Tamina. And then I have my academy classmate here,
Nice.
Bulgarian, so,
Cool.
from Burkhurst,
All right. So you stay up there. You two. Thank you. Right? So everybody knows that I do life-saving awards, but there's a policy, right, that you have to do things on duty. We received an unsolicited email about a month ago about Officer Dawson, about something that occurred in the city of Tacoma. And had it occurred while she was on duty and in the city of Algona, it would definitely warrant a life-saving award. So I'm going to read the letter, and we're going to present her, the mayor and I, are going to present her with a letter of accommodation. So bear with me. On January 9th, 2024, the Algona Police Department received a letter through the city's informational portal from Jessica Eady. Miss Eady recounted an interaction with Officer Dawson while she was off duty in Tacoma, which occurred about 3 weeks prior. Miss Eady explained that she was homeless and severely addicted to heroin. Miss Eady was also at a 7-Eleven and suffered a near-fatal overdose. Fortunately, Officer Dawson witnesses quickly assessed the situation and pulled Narcan out of her purse and administered it to Miss Eady, thus saving her life. Miss Eady and her sister spent the next 3 weeks trying to track down Officer Dawson to express their deep gratitude. When asked why she did this, Officer Dawson simply replied, it was her purpose that day. Miss Eady goes on to say that she had not been mentally ready to address her addiction until that experience, and Officer Dawson's actions inspired her to get help. She writes, "This lady is God's gift to police. I never liked the cops. Please let her know. I will never forget her." So, like I said, had this occurred... So, had this occurred in the city, it definitely should be getting a life-saving award. So, since it doesn't meet the policy, we're going to give her a letter of accommodation.
Thanks.
Very good.
AJ, come up here. Like I said, I'm very proud of the crew. I'm very proud of the support you guys give us so that we can have great officers like this. So I just want to give all three one more round of applause. Thank you. Turn around. They want to shake your hand.
Okay. Thanks, sir. That was almost time. Thanks so much. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks, Chief. Thanks, Chief. Oh.
All right, you're good. I got you. Keep going.
Get you on this side.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys very much. Item B is fourth quarter 2023 financial report. Jessica. Well, thank you everybody for coming with your sons and daughters.
A real intriguing report. I'm surprised they didn't want to stay.
There you go, Jess.
Yeah, right?
Just chasing up the door.
Yeah. As soon as I heard finance are out.
So nice to meet you.
All right. Good every time. All right, I'm going to be very brief. This is the fourth quarter finance report. In your packets, you'll see the fourth quarter 2023 budget position. Fourth quarter budget position. This includes all the budget amendments that were done during 2023. So I'll go over any significant variances. So the first page is this fund totals. This tells you all the ending balances for the funds by fund. The key thing to look at with these fund totals is that middle column, that's ending balance. That bolded number on the bottom needs to match our account totals in the ending column in the middle of the so we're reconciled and good if those two numbers match. So the account totals tells you our balance for each of our accounts. You'll see the withdrawal of 1.3 million out of our LGIP. That was for the property purchase, as well as the final payout for the water main project on Total. So here's our general fund revenue for 2023. We brought in 3.1 million. A lot of it, we had a huge influx with our miscellaneous revenues. That is the LGIP interest. The more we have in that LGIP, the more interest we'll bring in. It's still really high, so we're trying to keep as much as we can in our LGIP. Here's our general fund expenses for 2023. I just want to point out a couple of the high percentage items. 514 finance shows we ended at 126%. Some of the contributing costs is we're still going through our state audit. We also purchased the new website, and when I was doing this presentation, I noticed some of Dean's training was put in there, and so I will fix that and get that reallocated to the right line item. 553 conservation, that is at 144%. We have done a lot of work this year for the planning and design for the David E. Hill Wetland Reserve. So a lot of natural system design and future-wise work comes out of that fund. We have the waterworks grant in the capital budget. We'll get some of the money this first quarter for the work done in 2023. Any immediate questions about general fund expenses?
The bottom line is, oh, you're right on target.
Yep, we're at 98.8%, which is great. We do not want to be over 100%. All right, and then next we have street fund. Our revenues ended up at 99%, and our expenses in the street fund, admin and overhead, are quite significant at 153%. This does include the cost of FCF doing the traffic impact fee study and a lot of the Gray and Osborne work. We also, at the beginning of the year, had the retainage from the 2022 overlay project that we paid out in 2023. But we did do that budget amendment that adjusted for that retainage coming out this year. So yeah, we ended up great with our expenses at 87.3%. Next, we have stormwater.
Thank you, sir.
With all things considered, with the flooding issues we've experienced in 2023, we ended up at 99.7% of our expenses. Next, we have our water maintenance fund. We're right about on track with having a high revenue and a high expense. We did have some additional water main replacements this year. So normally we see that revenue higher than our expenses, but with the additional maintenance we did, it's just a percentage higher. And then same with sewer, we're right on track with our revenue being at 99% and our expenses at 94.4, which is exactly where we want to see with our utilities. Bringing in more and spending less. And yeah, here's our budget position totals for the year. So we did awesome with 88.2% of our entire budget spent. question?
Yeah, I just got a statement, and that's earlier this year, you know, that stormwater fund could have been way over. But through the help of the chief and Russ, we were able to get some help from the state and to prevent some flooding down there as well. So if we had to do that on our own, I'm sure we'd have been over. So nice work, guys.
Any other questions? Need a motion for the
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Is there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passed.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passed. Reports, Mr. White, Mr. Fairley,
I have nothing at this time.
Ms. Linda.
I'd just like to report that I have finally closed down the nonprofit, and I turned all of the money that we had in the bank over to the chief for his police department help other people account. I turned over $15,000 and $880.
Thank you.
And I hope that he's able to find, I'm sure people will find him now.
So what we do in the mayor, and much appreciated on behalf of the police department and the entire city, what we do is if somebody needs emergency housing, it's in a domestic violence situation, or, you know, quite frankly, the last time we used it, house burned down. We needed to get them housing. The Red Cross was triple booked, and so it fell on us. So it's really awesome to have that availability of those funds. I know Ms. Linda and I had talked about kind of expanding it if there was somebody in need of services or food, to have a little discretion there on what we utilize it for. So much appreciated on behalf of the city and the police department.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much. Mr. Thomas?
Yeah, I just want to say, tag on to that a little bit. I'd like to thank Linda and Osborne and Mike for the work they've done with that community.
Unfortunately, I would like to have kept it going without volunteers. I can't do it for myself, neither can I.
That was a tremendous help to our community. And thank you. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Avery?
Yes. I handed you guys out the goals and objectives for Public Works. So I'll go ahead and go through it now. With 2024 upon us, the goals and objectives are continuing developing for the Public Works team. This includes your water, sewer, stormwater, streets, parks, fleet, building and planning, and permitting and code enforcement departments. The ever evolving goals for the Public Works team is to provide training, high quality infrastructures, communication, safe parks and open space for all residents. Continuing with a positive relationship with the community, the Public Works team is able to provide safe, effective, and well-managed streets, parks, and public facilities infrastructures. All team employees will be highly qualified individuals and will be provided with the opportunity to continue to increase their knowledge through safety, experience, education, and training. So the first part on it is most important is the safety of the Public Works team. We want to ensure that they have a healthy, safe, and secure place to work. We want to provide them with a proper personal protection equipment so they can carry out their duties the safest possible. We want to continue developing and innovate a consistently updating current safety program. We currently have an app on their phones that we do a weekly training, and it's kind of like a tailgate training that we do weekly, and then we track their that way too. Along with that, we also meet our insurance providers with like AWC, with driver safety courses that Jessica hands out and stuff. So we try to meet all those requirements also. Number 2, invest in people. We want to show great care for employees, build team spirit, encourage continuous improvement for the individuals, and fostering a sense of personal worth for each. So with that, we want to continue with cross training within the Public Works team. This year, we want to have everybody obtain their certifications for pesticide, storm, water, our permit tech code enforcement officers also working on getting his certification. And then along with that, they're going to have a continuing education unit, so to keep those certifications. So they will be constantly going through classes to keep those certifications. The other thing is we want to make sure that our employees have completed their competent person training, confined space, asbestos pipe, the flaggers, CPR and first aid is another goal this year, to make sure everybody has those certifications also. 3, improve internal and external communication. Utilize multiple pathways to transfer information between the citizens and of Algona and the team. So with this, we're hoping with the new website we can give more information on what's going on with Public Works. We want to continue building a relationship with the surrounding cities, counties, state and federal offices and staff. This would be King County, our sister cities, Auburn and Pacific. Maintain and improve customer service work order. I think just last year, I think we implemented the work order system. I think it is helpful to track cases that go on. So, increase citizens' understanding of the function, practice, priorities, and procedure of the Public Works team. Improve team customer service skills. Use the city's website to communicate information to residents about upcoming ongoing maintenance and construction activities, including emergencies. With that, we want to promote the buoyant alert system to communicate some of that. If it's construction of some, we still use buoyant alert, but maybe something on the city's website also. So, improve communication between Public Works team and management, having regular meetings and stuff, I think will help get that communication across. Building and planning, continue to gain knowledge and experience of city, county, state, and federal laws and regulations. With Dean newly hired on, he is constantly looking up new regulations and it's constantly learning the regulations and stuff. Continue to update source files, identify sources not in compliance, and work with them to bring in compliance. Monitor and update the right-of-way permits process as needed to ensure compliance enforcement are adequate to protect all the city's infrastructure. So we want to make sure the permits, right-of-way permits, are correctly filled out and get their description of what they're doing. Code enforcement to ensure compliance of right-of-way maintenance and construction rules and regulations. Make sure each customer knows our construction standards and stuff, if they're doing work in the right-of-way, what's required. Stormwater. Proactively comply with or exceed all environmental and quality standards in areas of stormwater. Continue to improve and develop stormwater systems to reduce flooding and backups to improve environmental quality. Work with residents to utilize drainage programs to help stabilize all the stormwater as it runs through the city. With that, we do get with homeowners and stuff that have their own private drains or even businesses to make sure they're in compliance with our NEPI's permit. So, keep all vegetation properly maintained in the right of ways to minimize potential hazards. This kind of goes along with the streets here in a little bit, just keeping vegetation down. Submit timely stormwater reports to ensure compliance with Washington Department of Ecology. So we have the ERTS form, illicit discharge reports, post-construction reports, source control. All of these are classes that our team has taken so we could know how to do these. They're source control and then pre-construction inspections and stuff. Clean catch basins, jet storm pipes, and clean storm drains is one of our top priorities this fall or this summer this year. Is be more aggressive on cleaning storm drains and basins and stuff. Streets. Continue to work with the Algona Police Department to ensure proper placement of roadway signs for the safety of the residents and visitors. We have got some reports from Chief, stop signs that got ran over or knocked down and stuff, so it's definitely helpful to keep those stop signs and road signs up. Operate, maintain, and improve the city street to serve the residents' need. Strive to maintain the highest quality streets possible. Continue aggressive maintenance program to ensure longevity of the pavement. Continue to hold utility contractors and residents accountable for damages caused by utility work on the right-of-way. We're definitely keeping more track on contractors that have filed out for right-of-way permits. If they go into the asphalt, we're making sure that they're billed for those cuts, and then make sure that they meet the construction standards when they put it back in place. So we make sure we don't have any, potential potholes with poor construction. So we want to make sure they're doing the hot mix and making sure they're patching it correctly. See. So work with code enforcement, ensure compliance of all right-of-way maintenance and construction rules. Then again, the dean making sure the contractors have our construction standards and making sure they're knowledgeable of what our requirements are within the city. This year we're definitely going to do more paint crosswalk, stop bars, T-bars, and parking lot lines. This needs to be done at least twice a year. Probably come this spring, you'll see us painting again, crosswalks, T-bars, and everything, and then again in the fall. Right-of-way mowing schedule, that's kind of goes with stormwater to make sure we maintain all that, the right-of-ways, the ditches, and stuff to keep them clear and make sure water can flow. Water and sewer, submit timely water reports to ensure compliance with Washington Department of Ecology. This includes a water facility inventory report, water system plan update, water use efficiency report, consumer confidence report, cross-connection control, cross-connection surveys. At some point, would we hit a certain amount of population, we're going to have to redo our coliform monitoring plan because we'll have to increase our sample sites as our population increases. So, residual chlorine report and lead and copper sampling. And then also we want to implement a valve maintenance program. We want to do so many exercise valves monthly and start, tracking the maintenance of those, and so we can tell if they're hard to turn, or easy to turn, the size, whichever, which would go into an asset management program to tell us, okay, this valve's beginning to fail, it's going to be time to replace this valve at some point. The same with implement the sewer maintenance program. With that, we need to do the sewer assessment first, and then we'll start doing a maintenance program, jetting sewer lines, cleaning manholes, and those will be, so many done a month also. A fire hydrant maintenance program, that would be another one that will start flowing fire hydrants, collecting data on that. Same thing, is a fire hydrant easy to turn off? Is it hard to turn off? Doesn't meet the flow requirements? What we need to do, and that'll fall into another asset management to say, okay, we need to start replacing this hydrant, or going down the road. Parks, promote a vibrant, first-rate park and trail system with aesthetically pleasing and environmental friendly design and maintenance practice. Maintain and innovate efficient and effective park department that is responsive to the community's changing needs. Identify and actively seek all appropriate federal, state, and local grant opportunities to improve parks and spaces. Implement regular scheduled routine activities and preventive maintenance program. This is definitely one place we're going to have to step in, because we're not going to get Gary back this year, so we'll definitely keep on top of that on the parks and try to keep it as good as he did. With that, some of the capital improvement projects that we kind of have slated for this year, the Allenson Road asphalt project. We want to revamp the south side of the 167 ditch, cleaning it out. We want to do the sewer line inspection, the assessment. Let's see, 8th Avenue North, we want to do extend that storm drain and install a basin. Storm drain on 103 8th Avenue North, there's an easement up there. If we do that storm drain, that'll help alleviate the water from 9th Avenue. Storm drain on 4th North, it was a subdivision that went in, and it was just poor engineering that didn't capture where the storm water is. So we're gonna go in, we'll have to look at getting an easement for the city for us to put in the storm drain. There was one area that was pretty low, but so we'll definitely look into that. 1st Avenue, we want to grind and pave the natural made speed bumps. And then we want to repair sidewalks on Industry Drive and 10th Avenue. There's trees growing up and pushing the sidewalks up, so it's making it an unsafe area to walk. So in closing, sitting down to the type and goals objective for 2024, there is a lot to accomplish for the Public Works team. Implementation involves executing the objectives and making the necessary adjustments along the way to accomplish the goals and to achieve the vision. To ensure that these goals are met and the visions are realized, the Public Works team is committed to following through by recording progress and milestones as the plan is ever evolving. The team will check in periodically to ensure the plan is being followed and adjustments made accordingly. There must be accountability if the plan is to be successful. The team is committed to making changes for involvement of the department. Additionally, the goals, visions, and values will be reviewed periodically to ensure they continue the support of all goals of the Public Works Department. With that, this week we did have a leak on 4th Avenue South. So Lee's on vacation this week, so it involved myself and Dean. We repaired the leak on Saturday. Also with that, last week we had a report of a wooden fence that was down over by Matchett Park. It was a privately owned fence, so Public Works team came over and helped the homeowner to flip it back over to the property of the owner's side. So that this week we're, like I said, inspecting and cleaning storm basins this week, and probably looking at doing some potholes here and there when we can. That's all I got. Unless you got questions for me?
Yeah, I got one.
Sure.
Over on 8th Avenue, you made a statement that you put in 100 foot of storm line. So you gonna do that with your own crews?
Yes,
Oh, right on. That's good.
Yeah.
It's always fun to do those in-house projects.
it is. No, yeah, that'll definitely be our own crew doing that one.
I got one question. On the parks, I know that you made mention that we might not need Gary back. We had a grant last year for the sound garden that he was working on. We had a 25.
Different Gary.
Gary,
Oh,
Different year.
oh, okay.
Gary, we had a guy assigned just to do nothing but boat parks.
Oh,
And his name was Gary, not Gary.
Yeah.
So we go Park Gary, regular.
okay. Well, I'm just.
Yeah, Park Gary is.
I just want to make sure that whole.
No,
sound
actually,
garden didn't
yeah.
get lost in the paperwork.
We are scheduled on the 8th to start assembling the sound garden and start putting it up.
Oh. March 8th?
Yep.
Can I ask Russ a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is responsible for maintaining the storm drains, the culverts?
Public Works.
Okay. Who is responsible for maintaining the flow of the culverts?
Public Works.
Who is responsible for cleaning out the gook?
Public Works, that's,
Okay. If a storm drain is taking away a person's property because it's not cleaned and it's not flowing, whose responsibility is it?
right, yeah, it is.
Okay.
To file that, do we just contact Public Works?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
They fill-
absolutely.
They would go online and fill out the form, correct? Would that be
Correct,
it?
yeah.
And
There
that way
is
you
a-
have a record, you have an electronic record,
Okay.
and then it comes in, and then we distribute it to the Public Works,
Yeah.
and then we all have a record of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, then we can generate a work order so we can keep track of
Okay.
the one that's done.
Thank you very
Stuff,
much.
so,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
no.
We give you a business card too. You can just email me and make sure
Yeah.
Russ gets it.
Thank you, Russ.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know that it's been neglected for a while back, so we're definitely,
There, it's bad.
Yeah, it's
we are
tearing up the
definitely
side of
working
my
on
property now.
start cleaning things up. So.
And another thing, the fire hydrant at the end of 10th on Algona Boulevard, that fire hydrant has been checked in 5 years.
Good to know.
Thank you.
Chief Treasurer.
In the interest of time, I just have one thing to say, and I'm actually going to give Public Works kudo. Someone decided they weren't happy with where we sit and run traffic enforcement and education. So Public Works picked up 2 5-gallon buckets of sheet metal screws at the new stop sign at 8th and Algona Boulevard where we sit, and at the curb at Algona and Boundary. So in the last month, the police department's had to fix, 6 tires, right? So that makes a lot of sense. I will be putting up cameras, so if someone's listening on social media, we will take it very seriously. But I just want to give Public Works a kudo for picking that up. They took a magnet and 2 5-gallon buckets worth of sheet metal screws, and that's it's a prank, but still it's a public safety issue, and not just the cops get flat tires. People that live in that area, drive in that intersection get flat
Yeah,
tires.
my family got 2 flat tires last week, so it affects everybody.
Anyway, that's all I have.
Wow, that's a kudos.
Yeah, it is. And we'll deal with it as a crime, for sure.
Yeah, you get an emergency 911, somebody's in trouble, and you got a flat tire because of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Any questions for any other questions for Chief Treasurer? Thank you. Jessica?
All right, so recently at the beginning of the month, I sent out my first city administrator report to council and the mayor. I figured this is a good way to just keep you informed of all the projects, operations, just what's going on in a little more detail than what you do here, without wasting too much time. I printed it out so you have it in front of you too. I'll email the first week of every month an updated copy, just to keep everyone informed. Residents are more than welcome to ask for a copy. I'm not afraid to hand it out, so if you ever want a copy, just reach out to me. But with that said, we just got the fiber in for phones. We shouldn't have any issues now with our phone service. We're constantly having issues with the old copper line. It should be fixed now. This Friday we have the adult social. Encourage everyone to come with their significant other or by yourself. It's up to you. So if you haven't signed up, please come. There's gonna be live music. There's gonna be hors d'oeuvres. There's gonna be chocolate and the comp plan for you to take, the survey to take. So yeah. Website. I submitted the site plan. They are working on the development phase now, so we're still looking at the first part of May getting that completed and be up and running with the new website. Yeah. Any questions?
Yes. Do you have claims and payroll?
Yes.
Any questions for Jessica?
No, thank you for this. This is very informative. And thank you too, Russ.
I don't have a report this week. I've been on medical leave for the last 2 weeks, so I will make up for it the next meeting. So we'll move on to audience participation. The City Council encourages public participation during meetings of the City Council and welcomes your comments. This time is set aside for you to speak to the City Council on any issue. The Council ordinarily takes non-agenda matters under advisement before taking action. You are also invited to comment on action items as they are considered during the meeting. Individual speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each in addressing the City Council. When addressing the City Council, please speak clearly and audibly and state your name and address for the record. Whoops. Anybody have any comments?
Yeah.
Questions?
I came here with a few things I'd like to say.
Sure. Name and address?
My name is
I
Rick.
know who you are, though.
Well, yeah, for the record. My name is Rick Connell, and I live in the city of Algona at 340 Milwaukee Boulevard South. And first thing is, I've got to commend the Public Works Department. I had cause to interact with 3 of your guys, RJ, Carlos, and Lee. Fantastic customer service. I didn't want to call them out, but they came out and they were fantastic to deal with. The primary reason why I'm here is I would like to ask the City Council to please consider lowering the speed limit on these side streets, such as 4th Avenue South, as an example, to 15 miles per hour. Just like we have on Washington and Ward. I don't know if that would be an issue. We've got 20 miles per hour on another street, Milwaukee Boulevard 25, that's great, that's fine. But with this gig economy, there's a lot of Lyft drivers, there's a lot of Uber deliveries, Amazon, FedEx, UPS, and they're coming through our neighborhood. They don't care. They've got an agenda, and they don't care about our kids walking down the street with cars parked on the side, neighbors walking their grandkids. I'm getting to be an old guy, I guess, but I did talk to people who walk a lot. My wife walks, my daughter walks, my son-in-law walks, my neighbor. Other neighbors are walking, and I asked, is it me, or are some of these people driving awful fast? And yeah, there are people that, everybody agrees. Everybody agrees. So I didn't go door to door, I will, but I believe that everybody that lives in this city can see what's going on. Algona's a great city. As we move forward with that comprehensive plan where we want to be, I filled that survey out. You know, we want to have Algona retain the residential neighborhoods.
Little town.
Yeah, there isn't any reason. I think being ahead of that curve, we're going to have closures. We've got traffic, you know, 167 rush hour. You get people cutting through. If we get Boeing traffic, Google Maps is telling people to cut down that guy's street and go hang a left at the end, and you can get to Boeing and work on time and beat all these people down here at the four-way stop. You know, I think everybody knows what's going on. I would like, is there something that can be done? Yeah, I mean, we've got, who sets the speed limits? I think that it's not a big secret. It's not a large number of people, but you know, kids are growing up in the neighborhood. Now they've got driver's licenses and cars of their own. They've got friends coming over. The volume of traffic, the population, I've lived here almost 24 years. The population hasn't really gone up. The number of residents hasn't gone up too much, but the number of vehicles on the road. And it's, I work out my yard a lot. I'm outside a lot. I see a lot of this stuff. So who handles that? How can this be addressed?
Yeah, well, you're speaking right up my alley. After saying this for a long time about
It's getting worse and worse.
getting our speed limits reduced, how are we, as a city, we're kind of handcuffed to the point where we have to follow the state's WAC and RCWs, and right now that stipulates 25 miles an hour.
Even on such a short street.
20 miles an hour we can go down to, but you know, if the state law is, if it's not posted, it's 25 miles an hour. And like on our roads, where I'm on 2nd Avenue North, it's a dead end road. People fly up and down that road. But we're finding out they're flying up and down that road at 25 miles an hour. So
yeah, right, and I hear you.
But that's fast.
It's too fast for conditions.
Wide road and kids playing alongside. So
well, how do we get 15 miles per hour on Ward and here on Washington Boulevard, but we can't get it where my kids play?
I believe those are grandfathered in, as this was a school at one point.
Can we fake it and say they were all grandfathered in?
It's a process. There's this traffic.
So the city adopted the model traffic ordinance in RCW, and in the model traffic ordinance, it says the lowest it could be is 20 miles an hour with special circumstances. So 15 Ward and those areas where you see 15, the good council member is absolutely correct. They're grandfathered in because those were established before the city adopted the model traffic ordinance, and the city council at the time chose not to update those. And so therefore the law allowed us to keep them in place. I think lowering the speed limit is well worth doing a speed survey, and we have the capabilities with our speed sign, getting Corporal Fan back up to speed. We start taking average speeds, and we can go through that process if the council wishes. I have no problem vetting that and going through and vetting the speed limits. I will tell you that just a sidebar, I was having a conversation with the judge. It's like, Chief, I used to get a 30-minute lunch, but on Algona Day, I get a 15-minute lunch. So my guys are out writing tickets. And especially on speed in residential areas.
I don't doubt that, but they can't be everywhere.
You're correct. But we're doing what we can, and I'd be glad to go down that road if the council wants. We'll start doing some speed studies and get the traffic.
Maybe there's another alternative to that, right? The city of Seattle tried to do this also. They tried to get 50 miles an hour in all their residential neighborhoods before COVID, and they couldn't do it because of Washington State. But what they did is they started creating disincentives for people to use their neighborhood to cut through. They put roundabouts in, they put speed bumps in, they made streets one way, they made bike lanes, or they put those red flags, the cone things that are out there in the street here, so you can only make a right-hand turn on First. they put those things in to narrow the streets,
Put stop signs in.
discourage people from cutting through the neighborhood. If you can't, where there's a will, there's a way, because we're gonna have this year, that construction over there, I believe, is gonna cause more people to try to use Algona to bypass rush hour traffic on 167. I don't think 4th Avenue South, where I live, is really gonna experience much of an impact there. But we do have those delivery drivers and those Uber and Lyft people. And, you know, the Algona Police Department's a fantastic police department, but there's only so many of them, and they've got to deal with other things. It's these people that come out of nowhere, and you've got my neighbor walking with her grandkids, and somebody else is visiting your neighbor, they're parked on the side of the road, they're narrowing the street, and that person's gonna get every mile per hour out of that 25 mile per hour they got coming through, and it creates an unsafe condition. So is it gonna be one of those reactive to a fatality or somebody injured?
No, I think what we can do, Rick, is first of all, there's all kinds of steps that we have to follow as a city to get to that point. It's not gonna be something that's gonna happen tomorrow. But what we can do is to start, like Chief said, he can start doing some traffic studies. Anything that we do will have to go through planning commission, then it has to go, because once it gets to planning commission, then it has to come to the council, it's gotta go through the attorneys, and so forth. But it's something that I think that we all agree that we need to work on, and we can start heading that direction.
I mean, it fits right in with the goals and values, that we talked about, with public safety. Like I said, I don't have a problem. I've got one person trained up on the speed measurement sign and the car counting capabilities and the traffic data. So I don't have a problem starting deploying it in certain areas, and we just take it segment by segment in the city, and we go, okay, we need to do this here, we need to do that here, and discuss options. I think this is a new council, new mayor. I think this is just the right thing to do, is listen to the public and move forward with it. So
yeah, that speed sign worked really well. It slowed the traffic down to a point, but then the kids figured it out. So they ride their bikes as fast as they go down the street.
Remember one year I used it for the lawnmower races.
Who do we assign this to, and when would our name?
So Corporal Fan is responsible for the, and he's back up baby leave. Ian and I had a conversation today. He's got the software down, and so he's got a deployment schedule. I don't mind sharing the deployment schedule, posting it on the website, and sharing it with this body, but we're going to put it throughout the city in key areas and start taking.
Can we plan on when can we plan on some feedback as far as what thoughts?
Let's count on the first council meeting in April. I'll have some solid data.
Okay.
And like I said, if you want the speed sign in your area, that little portable slow down, your speed it's on wheels. We have a deployment calendar set up, and we're going to start deploying that every week in different locations. But what that sign does, it also counts cars. It gives you average speeds. It gives you time of day when the highest peak traffic is. So maybe we look at adjusting it that way in certain ordinances. During this time, residential only, or those kind of things, which is one of the things that Seattle did as well.
Yeah, I wonder if it would be worth it putting it even on 4th Avenue South. Because
we've put it on 4th and Tacoma before, because you're right, people from Boeing cheat over on Tacoma. So they start at 5:30, they go over, and then when Tacoma backs up, they cut over on 3rd, 4th, and then they're just finding any way they can to bypass 1st and Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we plan on April 1st? That we'll make some kind of report.
And if somebody wants it in a certain neighborhood, once we post our calendar, absolutely.
But I'll supply coffee and donuts.
I'll get you coffee and donuts if you get these people to slow down on the street. See? I don't have time to go for a walk. You don't find me walking up and down the street, but I see my neighbors. I got my kids walking up and down the street. So yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much, Rick.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
For your suggestion. We'll move on to discussion. Discussion item A is the 2024 comprehensive plan. Introduction, Chapter, Capital Facilities and Utilities, National Environment, and Algona Parks and Recreation Elements. Thank you, Caitlin.
Hello, everyone. Great to see you again. I know. So today we had a city council workshop about the Growth Management Act, the 2024 comp plan, and the 4 chapters that are drafted, approved by the planning commission, and available for your feedback, thoughts, and review. As we discussed, the overall schedule of the project is aiming for city council adoption by the end of July this year, so that we can accommodate enough time for 60-day review cycle from the Department of Commerce for certification of the comprehensive plan. And that leaves a couple extra months in our back pocket if we need to make any final changes for readoption. At this time, I'd love to open the floor to any thoughts or feedback on the first 4 chapters, which for the audience are the introduction chapter, the natural environment chapter, the Parks and Rec chapter, and the capital facilities and utilities chapter. That wasn't me. Again, we'll not be doing any kind of adoption or voting until June or July at the earliest. So feedback is available on a rolling basis. If you have nothing for me tonight, that is absolutely okay. It's about 120 pages as it stands right now. So if and when you have the opportunity to read it and you have any questions, thoughts, recommended changes, even pictures you'd like to see or caption you'd like to change, please reach out to city staff and I. We are more than happy to address any questions, accommodate any changes that we can, or simply help explain some of the state requirements and what we need to do to get this project over the finish line.
And more reading to do before I have questions.
Yep, a little bit of homework the next couple months, but I promise it'll pay off, and I hope it's a document that we can all be really proud of and feel like this is Algona's document and future.
Thank you for all your hard work, Caitlin. Very much appreciated. So I don't see any new business, no old business. Ordinance and resolutions, resolution number 1271-24, the EJ Municipal Land Use Plan Review.
I make a motion to approve resolution 1271-24.
I'll second.
So we have a motion to approve resolution 1271-24. Is there any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passed. This was resolution 1272-24, Transportation Improvement Board Grant Agreement.
Make a motion to approve resolution 1272-24.
I'll second it as well.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 1272-24, Transportation Improvement Board Agreement. Is there any questions or comments?
Just we need to get that railroad crossing fixed at the same time.
Yep, I have talked to the railroad company and they're gonna try to work with us, so.
Thank you, Russ. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passed. Next workshop.
The only thing I have, if the council's okay with it, is future-wise, would like to do an update on their work on the wetlands and dirt.
Okay.
Are we gonna ever have Russ do a presentation on code enforcement? We've talked about that for 3 months in staff.
Oh.
You mean Dean?
Dean, I'm sorry.
Dean?
Sorry. They all look the same.
We talked about those roosters I keep hearing.
Funny you bring that one
They're
up.
gone.
I gotta do it.
They're gone. They're gone.
They're in the pot.
I mean, no, seriously.
Yeah, no, we could Next workshop?
Well, probably the one after now.
Or the one after the-
Oh, yeah,
We got a whole hour.
yeah, Nicole won't take up very much time.
So let's try to put something small together for the next council meeting, please,
The council meeting or workshop?
or workshop.
Twenty-sixth.
26. I can get some ideas on what you guys' thoughts on how we should forward, you know, and how do you want us, what you guys' thoughts are, trailers and et cetera.
Okay.
Anything else? We good in order? Any other comments? Then I'll adjourn the meeting.